Here with Washington State women's basketball head coach Kamie Ethridge. Coach, your team heads down to Los Angeles this weekend to take on the Trojans and the Bruins. Just how is your team preparing for this weekend, and just kind of what are your thoughts heading into it?
Well, again, just another great opportunity. It's a wild league. USC upsets a team, and UCLA maybe struggles a tiny bit compared to what you expect. And we're coming off a loss and or a couple of losses, so it's just that way. I mean, you're going to catch somebody in a really hot spot, and you're going to catch somebody that's desperate and hungry, and then you're in one of those spots as well. So I'm excited about our team. I think we've had some good practices, and we obviously want to play every game, and we're looking forward to taking on USC and UCLA this weekend.
What's been the message to your team coming out of that Arizona game? You went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the country. They were fourth at the time. You were able to overcome a couple of double-digit deficits there on the road. A lot of positives that you can pull out of there, just fell a little bit short. So what's been the message coming out of that game to the team, and just kind of, how have you guys been adjusting and maybe preparing for the Trojans after that tough battle against Arizona?
I just think we're in a process right now of continuing to grow in our decision-making. And we watched a lot of our offensive clips, didn't delve into too much, because our kids are really high IQ and they get it. And they understand what we're trying to do. But it was really, a positive thing to watch some of the shots that we took and some of the shots that we got. And even in the beginning of the third quarter, when we kind of lost that lead and they kind of got a big lead on us. I mean, the shots we got were the shots we want. The shots that the people that were taking them were the people we want taking them. And so you can be encouraged by that. Now, do you have to clean up some things? I thought we panicked a little bit at the start of the game. But I think we just, you take those games one at a time, and you understand, in this whole process of playing basketball, you're trying to teach your kids how to play all the different styles and how to handle what you're going to see, any given night. And Arizona's a high pressure team. And so it was great practice for us. And I thought by the end of the game, we would really, kind of gotten a handle on how we want to play and how we want to move the ball, and did some really good things. I think we can be better, and excited about opportunities to go forward. And now it's a little bit different style that we're going to play this weekend. But, when you look at our resume and the people that we've played, we feel pretty good about where we are and what we know about ourselves and how we want to play and what we can expect from the people that are playing and the people that we're playing.
Anne-Marie Anderson from the Pac-12 Network. Go ahead, Ann.
Hey, Kamie, looking forward to calling your game this weekend.
Great.
So when you watched Arizona and USC, assuming you've watched that game, what stood out to you that you noticed that kind of?
Oh gosh, I mean, they're not the only game that I've watched USC. I mean, they're just unbelievably talented. We talk about teams that have a lot of weapons. They have quick jumpers and people that can create extra opportunities for their team. Obviously, for them to have played the way they did without their best player, perhaps, it just says a lot about where they are and their growth and their belief in their system and each other, and just how capable they are of being really, really great on any given night. They're really scary. They're a scary team when you look at. They're a team that we haven't had a lot of success with since I've been here. And so it's a real challenge for us to go in there and execute the way we need to on the offensive end, and then find a way to, manage their athletes and their scoring ability and their creating opportunities off of the rebounding. So it's a real challenge for us, but again, excited and I think this team's hungry to get back out there.
And Coach, when you were talking about it, I think it was the Arizona win where you were referring to, we panicked at the start of the game. What did that look like?
Well, maybe we had them too consumed with their trapping, and we got ourselves out of position. We tried to do too much, throwing out of a double team. They're a little bit unique. Not very many people double team the on balls. There's some hedges and different kinds of styles, but Arizona's a little bit unique. So I think we beat it in their heads about what we wanted to do. And then I think they honestly didn't trap a few times, and we were slipping, and, we just made some bad reads, and it didn't get us anything in what we wanted to get out of that. So but again, I think that's going to happen in games, especially, a team that was hyped to play and hadn't played in a long time in that environment. We had to settle in at some point. And, again, it's a great lesson that you play good enough defense, you keep yourself in a game, even if you're not playing great offensively. Heck, Texas Tech Baylor last night in men's basketball is a great example of that, and how you can overcome a bad start. And if you can, just keep your head down and keep your confidence and keep your cool and continue to try to execute.
I'm interested in the progression, kind of building on Chris's question. Between Stanford and Arizona, where were the biggest improvements in your team? Even though I know that they were both losses, but I'm wondering, did you see something between those two games that encouraged you?
Yeah, I think I was really hard on maybe Bella after the Stanford game, and I thought she had a great, 4 or 5 days of practice leading up to the Arizona trip. And I thought she settled in and gave us some good possessions. I think she's a real key player for us, whether she's, I'd love her to get the double-double, but she needs to stay on the floor and not get in foul trouble. She needs to really handle and control, some things that because she's our biggest presence inside. So we need her to be, consistent. And I thought between the two games, she just had some awesome days of practice, and I think that gives her confidence, knowing that if she can just keep putting real consistent days together, it shows up more in game. And again, not that she hadn't been, she just, during the break and that whole, she got sick, and, not as much practice when we're home and things like that. It just got her a little bit off rhythm, and maybe a little bit lost some conditioning. And I think I like how she's responded. And I think I think I mentioned it earlier. I think our guards are making better decisions. We're trying to, we play a lot of pick and roll stuff, and you have to make decisions based on how people play us. And I've liked some of the decision making that we've had from Stanford to the Arizona game as well. So I think that's a thing that's going to have to continue to grow and for us to be successful.
Chris, am I okay to ask another, or are you pushing for time?
No, we're good.
Okay, good. I'm wondering about Tara in terms of, I know expectations lead to disappointment. I get it. But what did you expect to get from her to a degree versus what you're getting with her stepping in?
Well, yeah, I think she's done so well that you want her to be a, all freshman team player right now, and you want her consistently to be her best. And she's a freshman, and she's learning multiple positions, and she's stepping in for a player that's very different than her in Ula when Ula was out. I think we've played well with her in the starting lineup. And I think her confidence is growing. I don't think it always comes across in some games. You see Arizona's quickness and Arizona's, just their aggressiveness getting after the ball. Bothered her, Tara, a little bit. She missed a couple of shots that we love for her to take. So I think consistently her figuring out how she's going to get baskets and how she's going to score, us getting her in position to do that better. But I have a ton of confidence in her. I think I was surprised at how good she is right away. Her body and her length, and I keep saying her Pac-12. Everything about her is Pac-12 level, and she's competitive. She wants to be good, and I think the challenge for her is, can we get 8 to 10 points from her on any given night? Because I think she's capable of that, and we certainly need her to do that.
Thanks so much, Kamie. I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Coach, just a couple more questions here wrapping up. Senior point guard Crystal Ledger-Walker has really elevated her play here recently. She scored 12 points in back-to-back games. She scored 9 or more in 4 straight, and she's also crashing the boards really hard. She's leading you in conference play right now in rebounds. I think that number is around 7.3, and she's still dishing out the assists. So she is filling up the stat sheet here early in conference play. What's been the contributing factor in her game and just kind of getting her a little bit better and kind of turning around here recently and getting a little bit more consistency offensively?
Again, I think, Crystal is just a great leader. She has an unbelievable high IQ. She has a lot of expectations on herself. And, she kind of grooves in, she's a little basketball junkie. And if we're trying to do a certain thing on offense, I mean, she's really good at looking at herself and going, yeah, I didn't do that right. Or, we can say, we think you're doing this a little bit too much. She wants to look at it and go, okay, I see what you want. And so she's just super coachable. She's super competitive. Again, her IQ is really good. Her body and her strength factor she can get herself out of trouble. She can get herself into trouble too, a little bit, just her determination to try to go make plays. But I just love, again, I think the growth in her decision-making is what's separating her from even earlier in the season and certainly from years past. I think she's not trying to do too much with the ball and picking and choosing the shots and attempts that she makes. And, we need her. She's a great comfort on the court. People listen to her. She's by far the most vocal person on the floor for us, her and Ula. And so, can't say enough about her. She's on the floor a lot. We have to have her on the floor for us to be successful. So I just love her decision-making and the shots that she's taking. Maybe some of the shots she's turning down recently. I think that's probably been a good thing for us. But the way she leads us and the way she distributes the ball, and again, she makes plays all over the floor. So it's not surprising to me that she's on the boards. It's not surprising to me that she's leading us in a lot of statistics.
And then final question here. It looks like you guys are going to be facing less of a crowd in Los Angeles this weekend. I think both USC and UCLA are going to have limited capacities at these games. Something that you guys are used to a little bit after going through last season and going through COVID and playing in a bunch of empty gyms. But just as a coach, knowing that you're not going to be having a crowd, does that kind of change things a little bit? And does it kind of take away home court advantages from home teams when they have to sit here and play in environments with no fans?
Yes, I would say yes to that. I mean, obviously you want to be home and you want fans and your band and the environment, the way you've built it up. And obviously these programs have long, rich tradition of being really, really good in women's basketball. So, you got to know that's, we all hate that. I don't think our players want to play in an empty gym. They've done that. Whether it's good for us or bad for us, it's not how we want to be playing. So it's unfortunate, but it's just, it's things out of our control. We can't do anything about it. You have, our message is you still have to create who you are as a player and a competitor, and you got to bring your own energy, and you're not going to get it from anyone else because it's going to be a quiet gym. But again, I think that's the makeup of your team, that you've got to consistently, compete at the level and bring the energy that it takes to walk into someone's home arena and compete with them and have a chance to win, whether it's a crowd or not. We want to be really competitive for 40 minutes, and we want to give ourselves a chance to win.
Well, Coach, best of luck this weekend down in LA. We'll talk to you after the Trojans game. Go Cougs.
Thank you. Go Cougs.